And so, suddenly, imagine that. Oh, imagine that I was born, forget the father thing, example, born in 1845. Imagine that I'm born in 1850 and my name is Robert. I'm born in 1850. So I accumulate one special star per every 5 years. So by 1900, or even one per every 10 years, per night it means 5, let us say 10 formula stars, including one baby dress from when I was a baby and a toddler, whatever. So only 10 outfits. I'm upper middle class, British. My son, named Robert Jr., Robert Downey Jr. I did not do that on purpose, I just realized it. Okay, so my son, Robert Jr., he was born in 1880. He has accumulated also one outfit. He has kept for souvenir purposes one outfit every 5 years, or in other words, he's now 20 by 1900, so it will be 4 outfits. I die at the age of 50, which was normal back then, in 1900. Will he keep those 10 outfits? Likely not, that I kept. It comes a lot. And also he has a brother. His brother is named Richard. So he gives 5 outfits that I kept to Richard. He keeps 5 of my outfits. Hey, you stop it. So, then, by 1920, no, wait, he was born in 19. Let's say he dies in let's give a round number. He dies in 1950. They both die in 1950. By that time, they have accumulated, so, it's complicated, 5, one every 5 years, that would mean 10, plus 4, 19 outfits. To make it broad, 20 outfits each. Richard has accumulated 20 outfits, Robert 2. They also have 5 outfits, so Robert has 5 outfits, Robert Jr. has 5 outfits of Robert, and Richard has 5 outfits of Robert. They do not have any older outfits because Robert, me, was born in 1850. And prior to the 1850s, or 1840s, whatever, it's actually 1840s, but people will not keep outfits, not even the upper middle class, they will pass it on to servants, and I explain that. So, they do not have anything older than my outfits. The oldest thing they would have would be my baby dress from 1850. I was put in to be baptized as a Protestant. They died in 1950. So, meanwhile, what happened? In 1950, they each had children. So then they subdivided the children. A daughter, Richard's daughter, she gets half of the half I had given him. So she gets like 12 bits. His son gets 3. The same thing happens with Robert Jr.'s sons. He has 2 sons, twin sons. Plus they each get half of their father's wardrobes. So in other words, Richard's twin sisters get 10 outfits. No, what did I say? 10? No, it means no 10. They get, yes, 10 outfits of Richard, their father, each. And the same thing for Robert Jr. Are all these people going to meet each other? They're already cousins. Are they cousins? Wait, there's them. Not even cousins. No, they're cousins. They're cousins. Do I get the outfits of my cousin when she dies? No. It goes to outfits. So although the common ancestor is Robert Sr., born in 1850. 2 generations after, they do not get all the wardrobe of Robert Sr., although all the wardrobe is intact and has never been used since Robert Sr. stopped wearing it. In other words, when he stopped wearing a formal outfit in 1880, it has not been worn by anybody since, and it was well kept. But yet it does not come intact to one descendant. Then what happens next? It is in Britain, right? In the 1960s, 70s, 80s even. All those working class, they start mixing. So what happens with Richard? Let's say with Richard. Richard, in my mind, is the youngest son of Robert, born in 1850. Richard was born in whatever. So Richard is dead in 1950. His one of his twin daughters, named Elizabeth, she marries a man named Harold in 1970. Harold came from, before that he was born working class, now he's a low middle class, so she suddenly went down. But they keep it. They keep the half of Robert Sr.'s wardrobe, because by that time, not for sentimental reasons really, because they have no idea, she has no idea who Robert was. She just keeps it because she tells him, you know what, my father Richard had kept that all his life, and when he died, he called me in to his home and he told me he would keep that after your death. I give 5 to your sister and I give 5 to your other sister because it belonged to my own father. So let's keep it. And so why did I keep it? I don't really care about that now. Okay, maybe she cared because it was her own father. But after to have a daughter named Stephanie in 1970. So Stephanie grows up a typical low middle class accountant, born in 1970, and by 1990 she marries. He goes away from home. She marries a man named, I don't care what his name is, but never mind. She marries even an upper middle class man. Suddenly she upgrades. So she marries a man named Stephen. So Stephen is upper middle class. Suddenly she inherits when her mother dies. That's or not even her mother, because now people live longer. So her mother was born in 1950. Well, after that, no, I said 1970. No, I said 1950. Her mother was born in 1950. So, by the time her mother dies, she dies, let once have a car accident in 2020. She had half of Robert Sr.'s all of formal garments kept. That only means 5 formal garments. Let's say, 5 formal garments. She had that. They have no idea who Robert was. They lost track completely of that. The daughter, Stephanie, born in 1970, she goes to the home once her mother has died. The home will be sold because it was not even the original family home, but she takes them, she finds these old stuff. She has since then aunts, daughters, sisters and brothers. They all look at that thing. Maybe one of them takes one thing. He does not know whom Robert was. No paper was left. He just says it's very old. It looks very old. It looks very, very old. It looks like this Victorian stuff we saw in dumb television series like Downton Abbey. They do 2 minutes of research on the internet. They at least can sort of figure out it's probably before 1950. So one of them cares about it a bit. He takes one. The others, they're like, we want to sell everything. So they sell everything to a thing. To garage sale or whatever, an antique shop. They come in, and that is how antique people who sell antiques work connoisseurs like me, arrange bargainers. They tell them, no, it's not that precious. Give the whole lot to me for £50, and then they will sell it for much more each garment. So that is how garments, even of the upper middle class, are not kept within the family, because they do not have the means, they do not have the richness, whether it be intellectual, social, cultural richness, and or physical means, because sometimes they're downgraded a lot and sell a lot of money because they fluctuate between classes, unlike the working class and especially the uppers. The uppers, especially that have been uppers for a long time and are still uppers, they are the ones who stayed in that class. They are the surviving uppers. A lot of their brothers maybe went down, but the one that managed to keep it, he's like me. He managed to keep his money because he, in a way, he keeps everything. So he kept the money and he